Today we're going to be working on a video showing you how to strap down your side-by-side on a trailer that's basically just big enough for your side-by-side. I did a video a while back, I think it might have been last year, where I showed how to strap down your side-by-side, but it was on a big trailer and it was a smaller side-by-side. So what I did with that one is I went from the front tire, the wheel, forward, and then I went from the rear wheel back. And some guys were saying, well, that's great, my trailer is only big enough for my side-by-side. So today, this trailer is not much bigger than the side-by-side. We've got a couple inches to work with. So with that, you have to be kind of careful with your load distribution. You know, you've only got a few inches. So a little bit too far forward, you're going to have too much tongue weight. A little bit too far back, you're going to have too much tail weight. You're going to figure that out real quick going down the road where your side-by-side is going to sit on that trailer the best, because you're either going to have your front end loose in the steering or your rear end loose going down the road, whether you have too much tongue or too much tail weight. You'll figure that out pretty quick. So load distribution is very important, but I also want to show you how to strap down your side-by-side if your trailer is just big enough. Part about strapping is you need to be smart. You need to pick out the best straps for the application that you're doing. I know you'll go into like Lowe's and Walmart and places like that. You'll see that they've got orange and green and yellow, and you might think you're going to go in there and pick out your favorite color, but that's not really how they work. The way they work is they go off of load rating. So each color means something. Like this strap right here, this is up to 1,000 pounds safe workload. And that's another thing you always want to look at. You always want to go off of the safe workload. You don't want to go off of the brake strength. The brake strength is where that strap is designed to brake. You don't want to go off of that. So basically, if you have a side-by-side, you really want to put 4 straps on that unit, 1 on each corner, to keep it safe going down the road. And another thing you want to look at is how long the straps are. You may not need a 14-foot long strap. You might need something that's 10 or 12 foot. This is a great strap because it has the self-securing fastener on it. So a lot of times you see people going down the road, the tail's flapping, there's no way to secure that excess strap. And one thing you'll notice with the Smart Strap line is when you see that yellow Z-rust bushing, that also means you're getting the precision gearing. Now what that is more teeth in the gear mechanism, and that allows for smoother and more precise ratcheting and also better load adjustment. And not only that, it's quieter. So if you're using these for hunting or in the outdoors, it's really going to make a big difference. I just like the way they look. Like they have kind of like that kind of military Black Ops look. They got the end caps on here to keep any kind of trash and debris getting into your axle. Every now and then I get an email from somebody and they tell me this hook won't fit through their wheel. They're saying, yeah, it won't fit through my wheel. What you have to do, you have to pull that strap out. And I know a lot of people freak out when that happens. The best way to remember when you're putting this back together is, I've shown this in other videos, like when you see an alligator and their mouth's wide open, you don't want to put your fingers in the alligator's mouth. That's a no-no. So what you want to remember is you want to shut that alligator's mouth, and this right here, this axle, this slot right here. Now with this, I typically do it this way. I take my self-securing fastener and I'll just fold it over a little bit, and I'll put it in. And then if you need a little bit more, just pop it like that and you can pull it right through. Some people say to thread it through on the inside. Don't do that. That is not how you do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right through here. Now, if you have a sharp wheel, you probably don't want to do it this way. But this wheel is super smooth, and the strap doesn't go back and forth or move at all, so it doesn't wear the finish off of these bead locks here. Here's the way I like to do it. I like to put that hook against the tire because it's rubber. It's not going to go anywhere. That is going to be locked down. Now sometimes you'll see people do it like this, and that's fine. I don't ever do it that way, you know, or maybe they'll get a little bit more choked up on it like that. I don't do it like that. I like to see you get a little bit of a distance right here in that tire between the hook and the strap in the tire. I just don't like to do it like that. What I do is put that hook right against the tire and it doesn't move. I can tell you right now, I have GoPro video of going down the road with this setup, And I can drive 800 miles with that strap like that, and it doesn't move anywhere. So if your trailer is too small to go forward, then you come backward like this. Now what I do is I will bring it back to there. I won't go right to here because I just don't think that's enough strap. That's enough room. If I came up to this one, I feel that it would be way too close, too tight. It wouldn't give me the advantage that I need to strap that thing down and secure it. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of room and almost come back to the center of the unit. And then what you want to do is you want to kind of give yourself a little bit of slack. You really want about 3 wraps on this barrel. So you want to get that strap in there and get it wrapped around so that way it doesn't come loose. If you only have, say, that much on it, and you can still see the silver on that barrel, that's not enough. That's gonna come loose. So if you have 3 wraps, even 4 wraps on that barrel there, that's good. Something you don't want to do is have so much webbing on here that it actually starts binding into the ratchet itself. And you don't want that. That's too much webbing. Usually what I typically do is I'll have that tightened up like that. And then what I'll do is go to each tire all the way around the machine. And then once I have them all locked down like that, then I'm going to go around and I'm going to secure them one at a time until I have all of them pretty much the same tension. That way, that side-by-side is not going to be floating back and forth going down the road. Let's say we're good with where this is right here. All right, so we're going to take this right here. We're going to wrap it up, this up top. So I'm going to tighten that up a little bit. So I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to take my self-securing fastener and I'm going to come around and I'm going to strap that on there just like that. The reason I give myself enough room here, I typically give myself about 6 inches between the ratchet and where my webbing is. The reason for that is when I'm going down the road about an hour or two, 100 miles into it, you'll want to pull over and check your load. Now what's going to happen is it's going to settle in. Even though you have all 4 straps drawn up as tight as you had them when you left, that load is going to shift a little bit. Once you figure out where you're at after 100 miles, what you can do is you can throw more on there. If I had this all the way down against the ratchet itself, I wouldn't have any room to throw some more turns on there. So I like to give myself enough room that I can tighten it up on the road, that I don't have to redo my webbing and all my tail and do all that on the road. So that way, if you got 4 of them and you have to redo 4 of them, it's time consuming. It's just a lot easier doing it like that. We're just going to do the same thing on the back that we did on the front. You'll notice how I put the strap through from this side. And the reason I do that is so I can keep the hook on the outside. The nice thing about these hooks is they also have a coating on them, so that way they don't scratch up any surface that you might be using it on. If you're using it on a motorcycle or something that you just really don't want to scratch up. You always want to do all 4 corners on your side-by-sides. They're very heavy vehicles, and you're talking about going down the road at 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, depends on how fast you drive, what speed limit is and all that. You just got to be really careful to cover all your bases when you're towing. You can see here, we just did the same exact thing on the back as we did on the front. Now what you'll want to do is do the exact same thing on the passenger side. You'll want to strap this vehicle down at all 4 corners. You don't want to just do one back left and front right. You want to make sure you do all 4 corners. And another thing, sometimes you'll see people strapping down to the roll cage or the back bumpers or brush guards. You don't want to do that. You want to strap the vehicle down to where the suspension can float. If you strap it to the vehicle, to the roll cage or the frame instead of the suspension, and that strap is going down the road, that strap is going like this the whole time. It's fighting. It's fighting itself, And what that does is that's going to cause wear and tear and weakness in the ratchet and in your strap. And then that's also going to make these come loose. If you have it to where it's in a solid surface, like say the tire or the A-arm, that's not going up and down. The suspension is what's working. That's what's going up and down, going down the road. And if you'll notice, any professional transporters, they always have it going over the tire. And that's another great way to do it. Tire bonnets, tire straps going over the tire. Basically, your rule of thumb is you want to get as close to the hub as possible, whether that's the tires, the wheel, the A-arm. Even in some of the owner's manuals, it shows you fastening your strap to the A-arm, upper or lower, and then securing that to your trailer so that way the vehicle does float. I know I'm going to get this question. What happens if you don't have these anchor points on your trailer? How are you going to secure the vehicle? Because you can't do it like this if you don't have an anchor point. Some trailers have sides on them and they don't really have good anchor points on them. So if your trailer is wood, I'm going to show you, I mean, even if you had a metal deck, you could still use something like this. This is from Cargo Smart. This is also a Winston product company. They are the ones that own Smart Straps. That's what this is right here. This is a Smart Strap, and this is a tie-off strap. So what you do is you put your X-Track on the trailer, and then we're going to put this tie-off strap into it, and then we're going to anchor to it with that. They make the X-Track in longer pieces, but I like to use these short ones because then I can put them where I want them. If I want to do a tire strap, I can put that there and lock it in right there. Or if I'm doing tire bonnets, I can use it for that. Another thing you'll notice about this tie-off strap is it does have the safe workload, 1167. And if you look on the back here, like I told you, the colors, you've got green, orange, and yellow. So that way you know exactly which one you need for whatever you're strapping down. Just for demonstration purposes, I screwed this in there. If I was going to put this on here permanently, I would do a nut and a bolt. I've done that before in my other trailers. It just works out really well. And the nice thing about this is you put that in there and you can go like this. Or if for some reason you wanted to go like that, you could go like that. That's the nice thing about X-Track. You can change your angle on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to undo that. All right, so I'm going to come down like this. Get our 3 to 4 wraps on the barrel here. So that would be like that. Now we're going to take this one. All right, now we have that hooked up, anchored in. That's what I would do if I didn't have these anchor points, is I would have it anchored down like that. And that machine is not going anywhere. I hope that answers your question about strapping down an ATV or a side-by-side on the same size trailer as your vehicle. If you got any questions, feel free to hit me up. We'll see y'all. Take care. Have a good one.